Anyway, like I was saying before, I have been gone for about a couple weeks in terms of live streaming and even recording stuff. I've really been recording, uploading stuff because I had my wisdom teeth taken out a couple weeks ago, and I'm just now on the opposite side of that, or the better side of that, whatever you say. But we're back. First and foremost, we're going to start talking some Mortal Kombat because I actually saw the Mortal Kombat II movie today. And I guess what I'm going to do is I am going to just give my review here, probably at a later date, upload it on YouTube, edit it out and talk about it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Mortal Kombat 2. So I'm not going to spoil anything regarding the movie. No spoilers at all. It's a spoiler-free review of Mortal Kombat 2. I have to say, I love this movie. It is far and away better than the first movie. Like, that first 2021 Mortal Kombat movie is so much better than it in so many ways. The writing, I think, is better. The acting is, like, roughly the same, but in some parts better. The fighting, the editing. That's what ruined, that's what plagued the first movie more than anything. It was the editing and the fighting. Like, I have no doubt that the fights were actually good in terms of them being filmed, but that first movie, the edit, the constant cutting around all the fights, it sort of killed the vibe. It sort of like ruined it, because Mortal Kombat, what's Mortal Kombat about, man? It's about fighting. It's about fighting, and we could barely see what was going on in those fights in the first film. That was definitely not the case in Mortal Kombat 2. The fights, top to bottom, were better than every single fight in the first movie. Kung Lao and Liu Kang had maybe the best fight I've seen in a long time, like in a movie period, dude. Like, my God, I cannot gush about the fights more. Okay, like, and I'm so glad that they allowed the fights to breathe, that they didn't super edit all the fighting like they did in the first film, because these are trained professionals, most of them, right? Like, you got what's his name, Ludi Lin, right? He's an actual martial artist. The guy who plays Kung Lao, what's his name, Max Huang. He's like an actual Shaolin, like he's Shaolin monk trained or some shit like that, dude. Like he's the real deal. Okay, you got Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion, an actual like master swordsman and like fighter. Joe Taslim, like, you have these people who can actually fight, and then of course for the actors who aren't master fighters, they bring in stunt people to cover them, or they do their own training so that they can do a lot of their own close-up, fighting stunts and stuff. The first movie did not allow that to shine. This one did. Like, sure, there's some fights that cut more than others, but by and large, most of the fights, you can clearly see what's going on, and it is awesome. It is great. And this film, more than the first one, definitely, you could tell that they wanted to apologize for the first film, but you could also tell that they fully embraced Mortal Kombat more than the first film did. Like, there's a lot of references to things in the game, a lot of special moves from the games that you see, some great lines from the games that you see and get in this one. And overall, I had a blast, right? I had an absolute blast watching this. The music, I didn't really pay attention to the music in the first film. Like, the only part of the music that I remembered was at the end, where like Scorpion shows up and they hit the Mortal Kombat theme. This one, the music is good throughout. Like, it is good throughout. Like, do they play any direct songs from the games? I don't know, because there's very few Mortal Kombat songs that I remember. But this overall score was definitely better in this film than the first one. This film actually, in many ways, it defies expectations. I feel like you have a certain expectation of like who the main character is in this movie. The main character of the movie, there's like maybe two main characters, but there's really one main central character that the movie starts with and ends with, that I feel like people are gonna have feelings about. There's gonna be some people that are gonna be trashing it. Other people, like me, I think the way that they wrote it, it absolutely worked. I'm not gonna spoil who that is, because that would lessen the impact of it, right? like Johnny Cage is a main character. I don't know if I'd call him the main character, but he's definitely one of. I feel like he's a 1A to the 1B of another character. But speaking of Johnny Cage, Carl Urban as Johnny Cage is a casting that I was not on board with at all. I did not believe in it. I was like, dude, this is totally a miscast. I cannot buy him as Johnny Cage, even a washed up Johnny Cage. I much would have preferred a Glenn Powell, a Zac Efron. The wrestling fan in me, I would have loved to see Miz. You know, I would have loved to see Miz. But like Glenn Powell, Zac Efron is kind of more what I was thinking about. You know, Ryan Gosling. You know, even though he's sort of on the older side too, but like not as old as Carl Urban. I think either of those guys would have been my ideal choice. Having said that, Carl Urban surprised me because in his delivery and his acting, he's Johnny Cage. Like, sure, it's kind of hard at times to get past Billy Butcher. Like, I see Butcher when I see him, and his accent at times, even towards the end of like lines that he's delivering, like you can hear his accent slip in. But by and large, I think Carl Urban did a good job as Johnny Cage. I give him a round of applause. He was convincing in many ways. Some great lines, some great movie references. That's what I always love about Johnny Cage in the games. He's always making references to movies. And they do some great like references to like, you know, Warner Bros. Related IP, because why wouldn't they, right? It was great. I feel like my biggest issues with this film had to come from like lore reasons, because there's a lot of things in the first MK movie, the one from 2021, that lore wise that kind of messed up. Like you have Katana in this film and no Mileena, because Mileena died in the first one. But like Katana's relationship with Shao Kahn is very important to this movie, and a big part of that is the fact that Shao Kahn goes, you know what, you're not the daughter I really want. Mileena is, you know, Shang Tsung created me the perfect horrific daughter. That's not in this film because Mileena's dead in this world now. She died in the first film, and I thought that kind of hurt the story for me a little bit. You know, like certain characters not being there who were there in the first film, but they should have been around for this one. Especially because like it's not a spoiler because he's in the he's in the movie. Like Kano comes back to life. They bring Kano back, so like I feel like they should have brought Mileena back. Mileena would have been an important part of this, and it just sucks that she was not in this. But that's again more lore reasons, more issues that have to do with the first film than this film itself. I will say that this movie will make MK fans very happy. Essentially, if there was anything that you did not like about the first film, if there are any characters you did not like in the first film, the movie goes out of its way to rectify that. Wink. I'll leave that there. I'm not going to go too far at that. I will say that Shao Kahn was great, I thought. The guy who played Shao Kahn, I don't even know him because like you don't see his face, which is great because in Armageddon, all you see is Shao Kahn's face. I don't need to be seeing Shao Kahn's face. Just like the skull mask and the voice and the menacing eyes is all you need. And I think he was a pretty damn good Shao Kahn, obviously. Better than the Armageddon. What was it? Armageddon? Annihilation. Better than the Annihilation Shao Kahn. Not as memeable though. You know, I don't think they make any like references to him. Not any that I caught. I was wanting a Sindel reference. You know, too bad you will die. She didn't say that at any point. I wanted her to say that selfishly. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Overall, like the story, I thought was much better this time around. The fights, obviously, as I said before, so much better this time around. Again, that the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight is the best fight of the film, and it is amazing. Like my God, I was so hyped. I was almost jumping out of my chair. The music, so much better. The editing, I think, in terms of the flow of certain scenes, you can kind of tell that some scenes needed to breathe a little bit more. Like, you could tell that some scenes got cut a little bit short as they're trying to, keep this, moving. I would like to see, some deleted scenes. I'd like to see maybe an extended cut of this, because there are some threads that could have been expanded upon, but they didn't really do it. They just sort of get to the next fight, which honestly is kind of like how the games were anyway. So on one hand it's negative, on one hand it's kind of true to the games, especially something like MK9, where like, yeah, like scenes happen, story, dialogue happens, but then it's like, bam, let's get to the fight. And this film does that. It adopts that. So I think all around, this is a much better Mortal Kombat movie than 2021. Dare I say is a better Mortal Kombat movie than the first one in the 90s. People have such great nostalgia for it. I understand it. Even though I wasn't there, I wasn't born yet, but I have seen it. I've seen that. I've seen Armageddon. I've seen all the Mortal Kombat movies. And this one, I think, is just better. It's just a better made film. It's a better Mortal Kombat film. And I definitely will probably go see this again. Can't wait for the third movie, if they do make a third one, which I think they should and will. Hopefully Rain is in it. That's another part of this movie that kind of got to me in terms of lore stuff, is that Rain, his story with, like, Adania plays a huge part in this film, and Shao Kahn and all that stuff, and Rain is a part of that. Him being like Shao Kahn's like one of his right-hand men. He's not in this. Hopefully he's in the third one, because I think he debuted in like UMK3, so I guess it kind of would match Mortal Kombat 3, UMK3, Rain showing up. I'm a big Rain fan. What can I say? And I know Ed Boon is too. Hopefully Ed Boon could talk to some people, be like, hey man, you should get Rain in this film. All right, let him do some cool stuff. All right, that'd be great. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All I have. That's all I have for my Mortal Kombat 2 review here. If I had to give it a grade, I would definitely say out of 5, it's like a 4. Like a 3.75 to a 4, but I'm really leaning towards 4, because again, the critics, I've seen critics tear this movie apart, because of course they're going to. They don't like fun. They like to, Cinema Sins style watch shit and be like, this is ridiculous, unrealistic, crazy, just check off stuff and really look at it as if it's going to be a Citizen Kane movie. It's not that type of movie. This is not Citizen Kane. This is Mortal Kombat, where the story isn't even the most important part of it. It's the fighting. In more recent games, they've made like real leaps and bounds forward to make good to great story modes, right? They have ever since Mortal Kombat 9, honestly. But the story didn't need to be perfect, and the story is not perfect, but I think for a Mortal Kombat story, as someone who's experienced a lot of Mortal Kombat story modes, this is kind of like right up there with something you would get in a Mortal Kombat story mode, which is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. The important part was the fights, which were amazing. So the critics can do what they do and just shove it. I don't care. But I think this is going to be another one just like the Michael Jackson movie, where there's going to be a clear critic and fan disconnect. Matter of fact, I wanted to look at the Rotten Tomatoes real quick. What is the Mortal Kombat 2 Rotten Tomatoes score? Real quick, let me just look at it and see. Okay, 69%, 96 reviews. It's not bad, honestly. I was expecting worse. I mean, you look at Michael, they put that shit was like at 32% or whatever the hell. But I mean, it's not rotten, so hey. But again, it's only 96 reviews. But I definitely feel like the audience score is going to be significantly better than that. So, yep. I very much enjoyed Mortal Kombat 2. I recommend you go see it. If you do go see it, there's no post-credit scene or mid-credit scene or anything like that, as there was in the previous film. The movie very clearly ends on where it's going next, on what the next mission is, what the next plot of the next movie is, should they get there. So there's no need for any mid or post-credit scenes, even though I was hoping to get, some type of reference to some characters that need to show up. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Mortal Kombat 2. Have you seen it? If so, what do you think? If you haven't seen it, will you be going to see it? What is the character that you would like to see the most in the next Mortal Kombat film? Let me know. I've already said it. Rain for me. I want to see Rain. But anyway, that's it for my review of Mortal Kombat 2.